Hello Internet, welcome to another brand new tutorial from CG Course channel with me Ghulam Reza Behzad. If you are a motion designer, a video editor, or someone who wants to create a video for your YouTube channel, you will come across creating a lower third for your video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a professional lower third using Adobe After Effects. So let's start. Welcome again. This is the composition that I have created with the following setting. Okay. And I have already imported the assets that I want to use in this project. They are basically an image and the logo. Now let's start by creating a rectangle. Hold down shift and drag to create a perfect square. Let's zoom a little bit, go to the rectangle shape options and bring the size down to 150. Now select it and press Ctrl D to create another duplicate. Change the anchor point to the left side because I want this shape to be scaled from this side. Okay. Change the color to white. Okay, create another duplicate and change the color of this one to something like gray or maybe black. Select both of them and press T to bring up the opacity options, and now decrease it to something like 70 because I want to have a kind of transparent effect. Okay, create another duplicate. Okay, change the position of this shape layer. You can use guides in order to align the shapes in your composition. They are really helpful. Okay, change the position. I think I'm happy with the size. Yeah, it's better. Duplicate it once more and bring this one to the bottom. Create another guide. Okay, align it. Make this one smaller in the height. And increase the size to the left. Yeah, that sounds good. Now let's import the logo and position it properly. Okay, align the anchor point to the right corner of the shape because I want this shape to be scaled from this side. So now go to 1 second and create keyframes for position and scale. Now go to the beginning of the composition and change the scale to something like maybe 20 or 15. Yeah, that's better. And drag it to the left. And as you can see, when we play the timeline, the change scales up, but that's not what we want so far. So I think I need to create another keyframe somewhere around here. Okay, that's better. Now select all the keyframes, go to keyframe options and choose easiest, or you can press F9 to ease the keyframes. And as you can see, we have a better animation for the shape. Okay, maybe we want this shape to be 0 scale at the beginning. Yeah, now that's what we want. You see it? I think I need to trim the layer from this position, and that's good. And I don't need these keyframes, just delete them. And that's fine. Okay, rename this shape layer to Lego VG and rename this one to logo map. Okay, let's animate this shape layer. For this one I want to use the scale value. Go 1 second ahead and create a keyframe for a scale. Go at the beginning of the composition and change it to 0. Easy as the keyframes. Select the last keyframe, go to speed graph and drag the handle to the left. And now copy the keyframes and paste them for the other shape too. Okay. Rename these shape layers to main text BG, main text BG1, and rename the next one to main text BG2. And now move this layer about 5 frames ahead, or maybe 3 frames. Yeah, that's fine. So far so good. And now let's rename this one to title, and I want to add keyframes for position. Press P to bring up the position property and go 1 second ahead, create a keyframe, go at the beginning of timeline and change the position, go to keyframe assistant and change ease, or you can press F9. Go to speed graph and drag the keyframe handle to the left. So now let's change the color to white. Rename this shape layer to description. And let's animate this one with position properties too. Go 1 second ahead, create a keyframe and go at the beginning and change the position. Choose both keyframes, go to keyframe assistant and ease them. Now choose the last keyframe, go to the speed graph and turn and drag the handle to the left. I think I'm happy with the animation. Change the position of the keyframes a little bit. Okay, now let's add the text for our liberty. For example, CG course for the title, and change the color to almost black, and change the font style to Nixa regular. Resize it and align it. Maybe 55 is good for the size. That's fine. And now when you align the text with the shape layer, just parent it to the title shape so the text follows the shape's animation. Now let's create another shape layer for matte. Okay, place it on top of the title shape. Create another duplicate and place it on the top of the text and choose the alpha matte options. Now let's add the main text here. For example, clean lower third. Okay, change the color to white, almost white. Change the font style to Nixa bold and resize it. That's good. Now let's create another shape to use as matte for the description shape. Go to track mattes and choose alpha matte. Maybe we need to use the alpha inverted matte. Okay. So far so good, and now let's add the text. For example, create your own style. That's fine. Resize it and reposition it, and change the font style to Nixa regular. Now change the color to almost black. Or maybe gray. Now let's parent it to description layer. Duplicate the matte layer once more and use it as alpha inverted map. Okay, I think I need to change the position of the keyframes a little bit. Okay, this looks good. Now let's add more details to the lower third and create a line using the pen tool. Make sure that the stroke is on and the fill is disabled. Click here, here, and here. Increase the size to 3. Or maybe 5. And to animate it, let's use the trim paths. At the beginning, change the end value to 0 and make a keyframe. Go about 15 frames ahead and change it to 100. Create a keyframe for a start value. Go to 1 second and increase the start value to something like 86 or 85. I need to align this one a little bit. Okay, I think I need to move these points a little bit. And now choose all the keyframes and ease them. Keyframe assistant and ease. Change the position of these keyframes. Yes. Go to graph editor and choose the last 2 keyframes and drag the handles to the left. Rename this layer to line 1. Now let's add, and now let's create another line. Click here and here. Now let's use, and now decrease the stroke size to 2. Rename it to line 2 and let's add the trim paths. Use again the end and the start values to animate this line. So far so good. Okay. Select all the keyframes and ease them. Change the position of these keyframes. Select the last 2 keyframes. Go to Edit Graph Editor and drag the handles to the left. It helps you to create a smoother animation. Yeah, I think we're done with the lower third, but as you can see that our lower third kind of comes to the composition and we need to reverse back this animation. At this point we need to make this lower third to reverse back. To do that, choose the lower third composition and drag it on the comps icon to create another composition. Now select the lower third composition, Ctrl and press Ctrl D to create another keyframe. Select the top layer, go to time and choose time reverse layer. Okay, now go to the middle of the composition and trim the top layer to right and the bottom layer to the left. And as you can see, our animation appears and appears back. And that was for today's video. I hope you have learned something, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I'll see you in the next video.